Welcome back to Rare American Coins. In this video, we explore 5 of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln pennies ever minted. These coins are not just old, they're hiding secret errors, rare varieties, and surprising values that can turn an ordinary penny into a collector's dream. Whether you're introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, President Theodore Roosevelt had a vision to beautify American coinage and chose Victor David Brenner, a skilled sculptor and engraver, to design the new 1-cent piece. The design was revolutionary at the time because it marked the first use of a real person's portrait on a circulating United States coin. Before the Lincoln cent, all U.S. coins had featured symbolic figures like Lady Liberty or eagles rather than real historical figures. Brenner's design featured a detailed profile of Lincoln on the obverse side with 2 wheat ears on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity. The Lincoln cent was struck in bronze composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This classic wheat reverse continued until 1959, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The reverse now showed the Lincoln Memorial designed by Frank Gasparo, adding a small but distinct detail. If you look closely, you can actually see the tiny seated figure of Lincoln inside the memorial, making it the only U.S. coin to depict the same person on both sides. Moving ahead to the 1980s, by this time, the Lincoln cent had undergone major composition changes due to rising copper prices. In 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from the traditional 95% copper composition to a copper-plated zinc core, drastically changing the weight from 3.11 grams down to 2.5 grams. This change is crucial when discussing the 1985 penny because it means most 1985 pennies you encounter will be copper-plated zinc, though a few rare transitional errors with the older bronze composition can still surface now. The 1985 Lincoln penny was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia and Denver mints struck billions of these coins, making them extremely common in circulation, while the San Francisco mint focused primarily on proof coins made for collectors. These proof coins are struck with specially polished dies, giving them a mirror-like finish and making them highly sought after by numismatists. Examining the design elements, we find that the obverse retained Brenner's original portrait, though over the decades small modifications were made to sharpen details or adjust relief. The designer's initials VDB, which had been removed shortly after the 1909 release due to controversy over their prominence, were later restored in 1918, appearing subtly on the shoulder of Lincoln, where they remain today. The reverse design by 1985 still featured the Lincoln Memorial with its classical architecture, flanked by United States of America and E Pluribus Unum above and 1 cent below. By this time, the minting process had become highly automated, but striking errors were still possible, leading to collectible varieties such as double dies, repunched mint marks off-center, strikes, and other minting anomalies. Collectors often search for these errors because they can significantly increase a coin's value. Speaking of value, the 1985 Lincoln penny in circulated condition is generally worth face value. However, higher-grade examples, especially in mint state or proof condition, can command a premium in the collector market. Coins graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGCR, especially desirable, with prices rising depending on the sharpness of the strike, the absence of marks, and the overall eye appeal. Some proofs with deep cameo contrast can also bring strong prices in auctions, but beyond the market value, what makes the 1985 penny truly fascinating is its place in American numismatic history. It sits at the crossroads between the old and the new, between the era of solid copper coins and the modern era of cost-effective alloys, between traditional manual minting and high-speed automated production, and between mass circulation and the expanding world of coin collecting. To understand the cultural backdrop of 1985, we should also remember what was happening in America at that time. Ronald Reagan was president. The Cold War was still ongoing, the economy was recovering from recession, and technology was starting to reshape daily life. The coins minted during this era reflect the nation's resilience, adaptability, and commitment to preserving historical memory through everyday objects like pocket change. The Lincoln penny also serves as a canvas for the nation's artistic and symbolic values. Its enduring use of Lincoln's portrait reminds us of the profound impact one man can have on a nation and the continued respect for his legacy. The 1985 penny belongs to a lineage that has seen the U.S. through to world wars, the Great Depression, civil rights movements, technological revolutions, and countless societal shifts, yet it remains largely unchanged, a small, copper-colored disc that connects generations of Americans over time. When we delve into die varieties for the 1985 penny collectors, we'll find that Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, while Denver coins bear the small D mint mark, and San Francisco proofs carry the elegant S mint mark. Some minor variations exist, including slight differences in die polishing or strike quality, but there are no major known double dies or dramatic mint errors specific to 1985 that rival those of other famous years like 1955 or 1969's. Nevertheless, meticulous collectors enjoy searching for subtle imperfections or rare transitional pieces which can fetch a premium, especially when certified by reputable grading services. The 1985 penny also holds an educational place in the hobby of coin collecting. It is often one of the first coins young collectors encounter and study, learning how to differentiate mint marks, understand grading scales, and appreciate historical context. Many seasoned numismatists trace their passion back to humble beginnings, sorting through jars of pennies and discovering small treasures among the ordinary. Even though billions of 1985 pennies were minted, they are a reminder that history is everywhere, even in the smallest corners of our pockets. Looking ahead, the Lincoln cent continues to spark debates about its future. Some argue for its elimination due to rising production costs and reduced purchasing power, while others champion its cultural and historical significance. Whatever the outcome, the 1985 Lincoln penny will remain a snapshot of its time, a tangible piece of American heritage that endures through economic shifts, political changes, and evolving tastes in design. If you have a 1985 penny in your hand, you are holding a piece of that legacy, a coin that connects you to a century of history, craftsmanship, artistry, and national identity. Whether you collect for fun, for profit, or for passion, every coin has a story, and the story of the 1985 Lincoln penny is one worth telling over and over again. Thank you for joining. A tangible piece of American heritage that endures through economic shifts, political changes, and evolving tastes in design. If you have a 1985 penny in your hand, you are holding a piece of that legacy, a coin that connects you to a century of history, craftsmanship, artistry, and national identity. Whether you collect for fun, for profit, or for passion, every coin has a story, and the story of the 1985 Lincoln penny is one worth telling over and over again. Thank you for joining me today on this deep dive into the history of the 1985 Lincoln penny. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video if you enjoy learning about coins, and stay tuned because we have many more fascinating coin histories to explore together on this channel. Point of interest for collectors, historians, and numismatists across the world. To understand the significance of the 1999 Lincoln penny, we must go back to the beginning of the Lincoln cent itself, a coin that was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln penny was the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real person and not a symbolic image. This was a revolutionary step in American numismatics. Up to that point, U.S. coins featured allegorical representations such as liberty and various classical figures, but President Theodore Roosevelt wanted to modernize U.S. coinage, and Lincoln was chosen to represent the nation's ideals of unity, justice, and leadership. The original 1909 design included the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and of wheat ears on the reverse. This wheat cent, as it came to be known, was minted until 1958, when the reverse was redesigned to feature the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. A change that marked the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The Lincoln Memorial reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, was used from 1959 through 2008, and that brings us to the era of the 1999 Lincoln penny, which continues this classic memorial design right before the dramatic redesign of 2009 that would include a series of 4 commemorative reverses celebrating Lincoln's bicentennial. The 1999 Lincoln penny was part of this long-running memorial series, but what makes it special is a combination of historical context, mintage numbers, minting errors, and the gradual transition to more modern minting processes that started to take shape around the turn of the millennium. The 1999 Lincoln cents were produced into main minting facilities, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, both of which issued billions of pennies that year. But not all 1999 pennies are created equal, and in this video we will uncover the various known varieties, their mint marks, physical characteristics, die varieties, doubled dies, and other numismatic curiosities. First, let's look at the specifications of the 1999 Lincoln penny. The coin is made of a core of 99.2% zinc with a plating of 0.8% copper. It weighs 2.5 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, and a plain edge. The obverse still features the famous profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right with the inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 1999, along with the mint mark D for Denver or no mark for Philadelphia on the reverse. The Lincoln Memorial is centered, flanked by the inscriptions "United States of America" and 1 cent with the Latin motto "E pluribus unum" placed above the memorial. The total mintage for the 1999 Lincoln cents was extraordinarily high, reflecting the demand and usage of the 1 cent denomination in commerce. At the time, the Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 5.2 billion coins, while the Denver Mint produced over 6.3 billion coins, making a combined total of more than 11.5 billion coins in circulation. Despite this high mintage, collectors have found a number of interesting varieties and error coins that can dramatically increase the value of individual specimens. One of the most notable varieties from 1999 is the wide AM reverse type. This variety occurs when the spacing between the A and M in America on the reverse of the coin is wider than on the typical version. This is the result of using a reverse die intended for proof coins on circulation strikes. The wide AM variety is most famously known for the 1998, 1999, and 2000 Philadelphia struck cents. The standard business strike cents in those years should have a close AM where the letters A and M are almost touching, but in a few cases the wide AM was used accidentally, creating a valuable variety. The 1999 wide AM penny is considered rare and collectible, especially in high grades. In contrast, the close AM type is the expected and common design for circulation coins. The difference between wide and close AM varieties might seem small, but it has a big impact on value. Collectors often need magnification and precise references to tell them apart, and coin grading services authenticate and certify these differences because of their significance in the numismatic community. Another key area of interest for 1999 Lincoln pennies is mint errors. These are coins that were misstruck due to mechanical or human error during the minting process, and they include off-center strikes, double strikes, clipped plankets, broad strikes, and die breaks such as cut errors. There are also double die varieties where parts of the design appear to be duplicated due to a misalignment in the die hubbing process. Although no major double die obverse varieties have been officially recognized for 1999 Lincoln cents, minor examples do exist and are sought by specialists in error coinage. Let's also talk about proof coins in 1999. The U.S. Mint produced proof Lincoln cents at the San Francisco Mint with the S Mint mark. These coins were struck using specially prepared dies and polished blanks, resulting in mirror-like surfaces and frosted devices. They were intended for collectors and not for general circulation. The 1999 S proof cent was included in proof sets and silver proof sets and is easily distinguished by its high-quality finish, although these proof coins were made in large enough numbers to be common in the collector market. They offer insight into the mint's craftsmanship and are sometimes involved in the mix-ups that cause the wide AM varieties. In circulation coins, grading is another essential element of understanding the value of 1999 Lincoln cents. Circulated coins can show significant wear, reducing their appeal to collectors, but uncirculated specimens in mint state, especially those grading MS65 or higher, can command higher prices, particularly if they are error coins or varieties like the wide AM coins certified by professional grading. Services like PCGS or NGC often attract more buyers due to the trust in their authenticity and condition ratings. Some 1999 wide AM cents in MS67 red condition have sold for hundreds of dollars at auction. Now let's place the 1999 Lincoln penny in historical and cultural context. The year 1999 was a time of technological advancement, anticipation, and change. It marked the end of the 20th century and the approach of the Y2K moment, when the world was both excited and anxious about the year 2000. The economy was booming with the dot-com bubble nearing its peak and the internet changing everyday life. The Lincoln cent minted during this transitional time carries the spirit of continuity. It was one of the last in the long-running Memorial Reverse series before the dramatic redesign of 2009 to celebrate Lincoln's 200th birthday. In the collecting world, Lincoln cents remain one of the most popular and accessible series for collectors of all ages and experience levels. Beginning collectors can easily start with modern coins like the 1999 issues, while more advanced collectors focus on finding high-grade specimens, certified coins, and rare varieties like the 1999 wide AM. The appeal lies in the ability to build a nearly complete set with minimal cost while still having the potential for major discoveries in pocket change or rolls searched from banks. For those interested in roll hunting coin shows or estate sales, the 1999 Lincoln penny offers real treasure hunting potential. It is still possible to find wide AM varieties in circulation, although it is becoming less likely each year as collectors remove them from the wild. Coins with mint errors and high-grade luster are also still found, especially in original bank-wrapped rolls or old collections that haven't been searched for varieties. To wrap up, the 1999 Lincoln penny is much more than a copper-colored coin. It represents a century of American coinage tradition. It captures a moment of transition from one century to another. It holds hidden value through rare varieties and mint errors, and it continues to inspire curiosity, learning, and discovery in the numismatic world. As always, thank you for joining me on this deep and detailed journey into the history and mystery of rare American coins. Stay tuned as we continue to uncover the hidden stories behind everyday change and bring light to the coins that carry history in your pocket. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another rare coin episode right here on Rare American Coins. Diving deep into the history, significance, production, and hidden value of the 1990 Lincoln penny, a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, but has an incredible story to tell and potentially great value for collectors and enthusiasts around the world. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation for over a century. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it marked a pivotal change in American coinage, as it was the first circulating coin in the United States to feature a real historical person rather than allegorical figures representing liberty or justice. The original design by Victor David Brenner was chosen by President Theodore Roosevelt himself, who wanted the nation's coinage to reflect its artistic and cultural stature. The wheat reverse, known as the wheat ears design, remained on the Lincoln penny from 1909 until 1958, symbolizing prosperity and productivity, and was deeply connected to Lincoln's humble beginnings and agricultural roots. In 1959, to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and the 50th anniversary of the Lincoln cent, the reverse was changed to depict the Lincoln Memorial designed by Frank Gasparro. This design change marked a new era and ran all the way through the end of the 2008 mintage. The coin continued to feature Lincoln's profile on the obverse, which has remained essentially unchanged for more than 100 years, with only slight refinements over time. Now let's fast forward to 1990, a year that may not immediately stand out in numismatic history, but one that holds hidden gems for coin collectors. The 1990 Lincoln penny was minted at two major locations, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. And a number of factors make this year noteworthy, both from a production standpoint and from a collector's perspective. The 1990 Lincoln cent was made primarily from a core of 99.2% zinc and 0.8% copper, with a thin outer layer of pure copper, a composition that was introduced in 1982 when the United States Mint transitioned away from the original bronze composition due to the rising cost of copper. This new composition gave the coin a total weight of 2.5 grams as opposed to the 3.11 grams of its predecessors, and changed how the coin aged and wore over time. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1990 penny is the mystery surrounding the so-called 1990 No S proof coin. This incredibly rare variety lacks the S mint mark, which normally designates coins struck at the San Francisco Mint, which was and still is responsible for producing proof coinage for collectors. In 1990, a very small number of proof coins were accidentally struck using a die intended for the Philadelphia Mint, which does not carry a mint mark, thus creating the famous 1990 No S proof Lincoln cent. Only a few hundred examples of this rare error are known to exist, and because they were struck in proof quality, they were originally included in proof sets sold directly to collectors, making the discovery of one today a major event in numismatic circles. This error is so significant that high-grade examples have sold for thousands of dollars at auction, making it one of the most valuable modern pennies in existence and an object of desire for collectors around the globe. Aside from the rare No S variety, the 1990 Lincoln penny also provides insight into the technological and industrial capabilities of the United States Mint. At the time, the mints used advanced die making and coining techniques, and production levels were high, with over 6.8 billion coins struck in Philadelphia and over 4.9 billion in Denver. This mass production reflected both the economic conditions of the early 1990s and the need for small change in everyday transactions. Yet even among billions of coins, certain die varieties struck through grease, misaligned dies, double dies, and other minor minting errors can make particular 1990 pennies valuable or collectible. From a historical standpoint, the year 1990 was a transitional time in the world, with the Cold War ending, the economy changing, and new technologies emerging, and the Lincoln penny circulated through all walks of American life, from vending machines to grocery stores to classrooms and pockets and purses across the country. Each of these coins carried not just the image of Abraham Lincoln, but a silent story of the time in which it was used. Numismatic ally, the Lincoln cent series is one of the most collected and studied in the world, and the 1990 edition continues to fascinate because it sits at a crossroads of modern production changes, technological shifts, and rare error discoveries. It is also important to note that 1990 was one of the last years before the 1993 overhaul of the minting process that would lead to major design changes in later years as the United States Mint moved toward digital sculpting and engraving techniques. In terms of grading and authentication, the 1990 penny has been submitted to major grading companies such as PCGS and NGC in both circulated and Uncirculated conditions with high-grade MS-67 red and above examples commanding significant premiums for their brilliance strike quality, and preservation collectors often seek full red examples since Lincoln scents are prone to spotting and toning over time due to their copper coating, while red-brown and brown examples still retain historical value. Red examples in mint state remain the most desirable. Some error coins from 1990 include off-center strikes, clipped plankets, double dies, and coins struck on foreign plankets, or using incorrect dies. Each of these varieties must be authenticated by experts and can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their rarity and condition, with YouTube videos, forums, and auction platforms helping collectors share and compare their finds. The numismatic community has embraced technology, and the 1990 penny has become part of this digital renaissance as more people learn about its hidden value. So whether you are a seasoned collector or someone who just stumbled upon a shiny old penny in your pocket from the year 1990, this coin offers an incredible story, one that reaches back to the legacy of Abraham Lincoln and stretches forward into the age of modern minting technology. Its historical context, its minting background, its design and symbolism, its errors, and its values all combine to make the 1990 Lincoln penny a subject worth studying and collecting. In this video, we will go deeper into each of these topics, exploring what makes the 1990 Lincoln cent special, and how you can identify and potentially profit from varieties and errors. We will look at real examples, auction prices, collector stories, grading tips, authentication strategies, and much more. So stay with me for this full deep dive into one of the most overlooked but intriguing pennies in American history. Now let's begin our journey into the story of the 1990 Lincoln penny, from its design elements and mintage details to the rare no-S proof coin, the production process, grading scales, values, and where you can find these coins today in circulation rolls, mint sets, and online markets. Buckle in and get ready to explore this modern marvel of American coinage. We will be taking a deep dive into one of the most fascinating and often overlooked coins in the world of numismatics, the 1988 Lincoln penny. This coin may look ordinary at first glance, but as you will soon learn, it is a piece rich in history, full of mystery, and tied to a long tradition of American heritage, artistry, and craftsmanship. The Lincoln cent, also known as the Lincoln penny, has been in continuous circulation since 1909, introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first United States coin to feature the likeness of a real person, and it marked a significant change in the way American currency was designed and perceived. The obverse, or front side of the coin, was designed by Victor David Brenner, a Lithuanian immigrant and accomplished medalist, who was commissioned by President Theodore Roosevelt as part of his broader initiative to beautify American coinage. Brenner's portrait of Lincoln was based on a photograph taken by Matthew Brady, and it remains largely unchanged to this day. The reverse of the Lincoln cent originally featured two stalks of wheat curved inward and framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design, commonly referred to as the wheat penny, continued until 1958. In 1959, the reverse design was changed to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and featured the Lincoln Memorial. This new design was created by Frank Gasparo, who was also the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time. The Lincoln Memorial reverse remained in use until 2008, after which a series of new reverse designs were introduced to mark Lincoln's bicentennial in 2009. Now, focusing on the 1988 Lincoln penny, this coin was part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which spanned from 1959 to 2008, but the 1988 issue is notable for several reasons, both in terms of minting errors, varieties, and the economic and political context of the time. To understand the full story behind the 1988 penny, we must consider the materials used the minting process and the subtle yet significant varieties that make this particular coin sought after by collectors today. Starting with the composition, the 1988 Lincoln penny is made primarily of copper-plated zinc. This change from solid bronze occurred in 1982 due to rising copper prices and the desire to reduce minting costs. The new composition consists of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, which gives the coin its familiar appearance while dramatically reducing the amount of copper needed. This change also introduced a number of complications and challenges for the mint, particularly in terms of striking consistency, die wear, and surface reactions over time. The 1988 penny was struck at 3 different mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins struck at Philadelphia bear no mint mark. The ones from Denver carry a D mint mark, and those struck as proofs in San Francisco have an S mint mark. Understanding which mint produced your coin is an important step in determining its rarity and potential value. But even more intriguing are the die varieties that have surfaced over the years, particularly the now famous 1988 penny with a 1989 reverse design, also known as the transitional reverse error. The 1988 transitional reverse variety was first discovered by keen-eyed collectors who noticed that some 1988 cents featured subtle differences in the design of the reverse, specifically in the spacing and shape of the designer's initials FG for Frank Gasparo, which appear near the bottom right of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side of the coin. On most 1988 pennies, the initials are well spaced and distinct, but on some coins, particularly those from Philadelphia and Denver, the initials appear closer together and resemble the style used on the 1989 reverse. This led to the conclusion that reverse dies intended for 1989 were accidentally used on a limited number of 1988 coins, creating a rare and highly collectible variety. To confirm the authenticity of a 1988 penny with a 1989 reverse, experts examine the shape and position of the G and FG. The correct reverse die for 1988 shows a rounded G with a slight separation from the building, while the 1989 reverse G has a straight tail that points inward and sits closer to the steps of the memorial. Identifying these varieties requires magnification and careful comparison, and because these errors were likely the result of a mix-up at the mint during die changes, they exist in relatively small numbers, making them highly desirable among collectors. But the story does not stop there. The economic context of 1988 also plays a crucial role in understanding the environment in which these coins were minted. The late 1980s were a period of economic transition in the United States, marked by the final years of the Reagan administration, a booming stock market, the rise of consumer technology, and changing global trade patterns. Inflation was relatively stable, and interest in precious metals was subdued compared to previous decades, yet coin collecting saw a resurgence during this time, driven in part by the public's growing interest in errors and varieties. Television programs, coin magazines, and collector conventions helped fuel this renewed enthusiasm, and the 1988 Lincoln penny became a part of this wave. Another factor contributing to the 1988 penny's place in coin history is its production volume. The United States Mint produced over 11 billion Lincoln cents that year, making it one of the most heavily produced coins of its era. While this might seem like it would make the coin too common to be collectible, the presence of mint errors, doubled dies, repunched mint marks, and transitional varieties adds considerable depth to the story and invites collectors to search for those hidden gems among the sea of ordinary coins. In addition to the transitional reverse, there are known examples of 1988 Lincoln cents with die clashes, off-center strikes, brockages, and other striking anomalies which occurred during the minting process due to mechanical errors, die misalignments, or planchette issues. These mint errors each tell a different story about the complex and high-speed nature of modern coin production. and they offer valuable teaching tools for numismatists and hobbyists alike. Even proof coins from 1988, which were struck in San Francisco under more controlled conditions, can present unique qualities with deeper cameo contrasts, doubled dies, or planchette flaws that increase their appeal. Proof sets from 1988 are also popular among collectors, particularly those that have been graded by professional services and preserved in pristine condition. As the video continues, we will go deeper into the specific characteristics of known error varieties. We will look at high-resolution images of the FG initials, we will compare the correct and incorrect reverses, we will analyze examples that have sold at auction, and discuss what makes one coin worth a penny and another worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. We will also explore how to authenticate your 1988 penny, how to protect it from damage, and how to submit it for grading if you believe you have a rare variety in your possession. Toward the end of the video, we will take a broader look at the Lincoln Cent series and how the 1988 issue fits into the larger timeline of American coinage. We will talk about the evolution of coin collecting and how everyday coins like the penny continue to fascinate and educate generations of Americans. We will also share stories from collectors who have found rare 1988 varieties in pocket change and show how a simple coin hunt can turn into a journey through history. So sit back, relax, and join me on this 2-hour deep dive into one of the most intriguing coins in your pocket. The 1988 Lincoln penny, a coin that proves history is everywhere, even in the smallest change.